Attention! Attention!
The following message is being transmitted at the request of local authorities within Henry County, Florida. A local area emergency has been issued for the city of Clewiston and the surrounding areas of northeastern Henry County. This afternoon, an estimated 24 people have been stung by what seem to be Africanized honeybees, or more commonly known as killer bees. No deaths have been reported from these stings as of this time. A swarm of around 500 killer bees has reportedly been harassing the citizens of Clewiston since 8 a.m. this morning, when a manhole cover was uncovered for routine inspection. Henry County has called upon the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and multiple professional beekeepers to help safely contain the swarm of bees. For the time being, residents in and around the town of Clewiston are being urged to remain on the lookout for this swarm of killer bees while you are going about your daily activities. If you hear a large humming or buzzing sound, immediately find a safe, indoor shelter, and do not leave until the bees vacate the area. Killer bees can potentially swarm a target for upwards of 30 minutes. If you or someone around you is stung by one of these bees, it is advised that the individual seeks medical attention immediately. Stay tuned to local news media for further information on this developing story.
Hello everyone, my name is James Bold, lead news anchor and meteorologist for First Coast Weather and News. For our first story of the day, let's discuss something happening here in our home state of Florida. Yesterday afternoon, a swarm of aggressive bees was harassing the town of Clewiston, which is in Henry County, just off the coast of Lake Okeechobee. There has actually been one reported death. A young man in his mid-20s was killed after he was stung dozens of times by what seemed to be Africanized honeybees. He fought for a few hours in the hospital, but unfortunately did not make it. Thankfully, Clewiston was able to get a team of beekeepers into the town before things went much further. However, we are left with 33 confirmed injuries, and the aforementioned death from earlier. Africanized honeybees are not new to America, or to Florida, but as the world slowly becomes warmer, they have begun to spread further north and become more prolific. Hopefully this was just a freak accident, which it often is. Usually someone opens a manhole cover or pokes at a hive and the bees go after them. Though it is odd to see an entire swarm going throughout a town, and seemingly going after random bystanders. But regardless, the situation has been resolved in Clewiston, and our hearts go out to all the families affected by this strange yet devastating tragedy.
The following message is being transmitted at the request of local authorities within Palm Beach County, Florida. A civil danger warning has been issued for the Belle Glade South Bay area in extreme central western Palm Beach County, Florida. Over the past hour, there have been dozens of reports from civilians of an unidentified species of large bee. There have been numerous reports of injuries, and even one death from an allergic reaction. All residents in the Belle Glade South Bay area are being urged to remain in their homes and shelters for the time being. Do not go out unless it is an absolute necessity or an emergency. When outdoors, remain vigilant for the sound of swarming bees. According to city officials, it is estimated that there are anywhere between 500 to 1,500 of these violent bees within the alert area. If you are attacked by a swarm of bees, Do not attempt to swat the bees away. Swatting them away will only alert more bees to your location, and only serves to agitate them further. Run away as fast as you can, as far as you can, until you can reach a safe, enclosed shelter. Aggressive species of bees have been known to wait out their victims for up to 30 minutes if they take shelter. It is advised you do not leave the shelter for at least 40 minutes. Stay tuned to local news media for more information and future updates on this event.
Good evening, West Palm. My name is Allie Nicholson, here with WJTV to bring you the news for today, June 23rd, 2023. First off, we're going over to our friends in extreme western Palm County in the Belle Glade South Bay area. Over the past few hours, residents in the area have been dealing with what seems to be an infestation of Africanized honeybees. Usually these situations are not newsworthy, but as of now, there are an estimated 1,200 killer bees still within the area. Law enforcement is currently working with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to get a handle on the situation. For now, Palm Beach County officials are urging anyone who isn't already in the Belle Glade South Bay area to remain away from the township until the situation has been contained. Law enforcement are currently working to block incoming traffic on all sides of Belle Glade and South Bay. That's all the information we have for now, as we are still waiting on more official information from the Palm County Police Department. For the next story of the evening, how a new bill could potentially change the tax code within Palm Beach County.
The following message is being transmitted at the request of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. The following is a simple emergency message, meant to educate the public about an ongoing situation in Collier and West Palm Beach counties in southern Florida. This civil emergency message will be delivered by head of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Peter Rose.
Hello, Floridians. My name is Peter Rose, here on the behalf of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Over the past 4 days, there have been numerous reports of lethal insect attacks occurring around Lake Okeechobee and the surrounding populated areas. It is believed that the insect infestation was actually caused by a man-made source and not a natural one. There has been some evidence that this ongoing insect infestation is actually being perpetrated by genetically modified Africanized honeybees. Africanized honeybees are an invasive species in the United States and are known to be incredibly defensive of their territory. When disturbed, they will often go into an all-out frenzy on whatever bothered them. Lab samples from the remains of these bees indicate that this species is not the same type of Africanized honeybee that has been inhabiting the United States for a few decades now. While we cannot be certain on how these bees were modified, it has been noticed that they seem to be much bigger than usual, and their venom seems to be much more potent than usual. On average, this new species of Africanized honeybee only needs to sting its prey 2 to 5 times, and they will usually go into anaphylactic shock soon after. While one bee may not pose much of a threat to most, these bees like to travel in swarms. If you are approached by a swarm of Africanized honeybees, do not attempt to swat them away. Trying to fight back will only agitate the bees further. The best thing you could do is immediately try to run away and find a safe, enclosed shelter. It's also advised that you avoid areas where bees tend to nest, such as abandoned buildings, sheds, manhole covers, crawl spaces, and trees. For more information on Africanized honeybees, please consult the Florida Department of Environmental Protection's website.
This has been a simple emergency message from the state government of Florida. Thank you for your time.
Hello everyone, my name is James Bold, lead news anchor and meteorologist for First Coast Weather and News. For our first story tonight, we'll be going back to South Florida to check in on the situation regarding an infestation of Africanized honeybees. The situation got much more interesting just earlier this morning, as the government had admitted that this species of Africanized honeybee was genetically modified. Though, they did say they had no knowledge of this experiment ongoing, or where it even originated from. So of course, they're probably lying. What exactly is the plan to clean up this mess? And how much longer will it be until another swarm goes after innocent people? For now, there's not much we can do other than wait and see. However, this truly does seem like an amazing, if not terrifying, occurrence. Me and my crew plan to rent out a sister station's studio for the duration of this event. There's nothing like getting the news straight from the source. We will be staying down in Boca Raton if anybody would like to stop by the studio for a visit. Here's hoping all goes well down south. For our next story, a woman in Collier County barely escapes with her life after a swarm of Africanized honeybees attacked her on the back patio of their cabin.
The following message is being transmitted at the request of the Naples Police Department. A civil danger warning has been issued for the city of Naples in Collier County, Florida. At around 1:25 local time, multiple reports came in from Lodermilk Park about a potential mass casualty situation. Eyewitness reports claim that a calm day on the beach was interrupted by a large swarm of bees, and had left at least 5 people dead and dozens more injured. It is believed that the swarm of bees came from a hive that was knocked out of a tree. Anyone within a 1/10 of a mile radius of Lodermilk Park are being urged to shelter in place immediately. If you are outside of this range, remain away from the Lodermilk Park area until an all-clear message is given. Stay tuned to local news media for more information and future updates on this event. The following message is being transmitted at the request of the state government of Florida. A shelter-in-place warning has been issued for the entire Naples metropolitan area. This message is an extension of a civil danger warning that was issued yesterday afternoon in the Naples area. The situation regarding an invasion of Africanized honeybees has worsened, and it is now estimated that 9 citizens have died in Naples alone due to this invasion of bees. There have been reports in some older homes of bees attempting to get in through the cracks under doors, windows, or the floorboards. When sheltering in place, take all airways to the outside world. This includes all windows and doors in your home or shelter. While it is not mandatory to shelter in place at this time, it is highly advised for all residents of the Naples area. A curfew of 8 p.m. is now in effect until the situation has been resolved. Local officials within Naples have been in communication with wildlife management, and hope to have the situation resolved within the next day or two. In the meantime, stay tuned to your local news media for more information and future updates on this event. The following is an administrative message, issued by officials within the Collier County local government. There is no active emergency at this time. Please remain calm. This administrative message is being broadcast as an all-clear message to the residents of Naples, and as a suspension of the previous 2 alerts that have been in effect over the past few days. Over the past 2 nights, the local government has been working with wildlife management to contain the Africanized honeybee situation in Naples. As of now, it is believed that any activity from these bees will be over rural areas of Collier County for the time being. The state is still working to get to the bottom of this infestation, but for now the danger has passed. If you come across another large swarm or colony of bees in Collier County, please contact the Collier County Sheriff's Office. Repeating, this is an all-clear message for Collier County, Florida. There is no active threat or emergency at this time.
Good morning, Palm Beach. It's great to be waking up with y'all on this fine Friday morning. As we can see, it's shaping up to be a beautiful day for us here in Palm Beach. Speaking of bees, we actually have some unfortunate news to share. Just yesterday morning, an emergency order was lifted in Collier County after swarms of Africanized honeybees took the lives of an estimated 18 people over the past week and a half. This new species of Africanized honeybee seems to be more aggressive and venomous than the previous infestations that southern Florida has dealt with. The government actually admitted that this species of honeybee was genetically modified, but would not state why that was. I'm sure it's nothing good. But regardless, the Collier County government says that the situation is mostly under control, but some citizens claim this is not the case, as there have reportedly been sightings of these bees outside of the 3 counties that were previously infested, those being Collier, Hendry, and Palm Beach counties. There have been reports of these bees beginning to crop up in Monroe, Miami-Dade, and Broward counties. All 3 of these counties have large populations and are known for their large tourism industry. Many officials worry with the holiday weekend coming up if this could lead to an outbreak of deaths in South Florida.
The following message is being broadcast at the request of the state government of Florida. This is a simple emergency message, meant to educate the public on a developing situation in southern Florida. Over the past week and a half, there have been hundreds of reports of aggressive Africanized honeybees attacking residents in Collier, Hendry, and Palm Beach counties in Florida. Throughout the day today, there have been reports of these bees appearing in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Monroe counties. Combined, the region of Florida facing the threat from these bees is home to around 7 million people. This could develop into a very dangerous situation. For the time being, there have not been any reports of large swarms of Africanized honeybees since the night of June 28, 2023. Regardless, all residents within the affected areas are being urged to remain vigilant for any swarms of these bees. They can attack rapidly and kill you just as quickly. Do not attempt to swat at these bees if they attack you. It is better to turn and run. Stay tuned to local news media for more information and future updates on this event. Your regularly scheduled programming has been temporarily suspended to transmit this important message. There is no active emergency for the United States at this time. Please remain calm. The following message will contain important information regarding an ongoing situation in southern Florida. Please stand by. Over the past week and a half, a major infestation of Africanized honeybees has been terrorizing southern Florida. Residents in the counties of Hendry, Collier, Palm Beach, Monroe, Lee, Miami-Dade, and Broward are currently fighting to live normal lives due to this infestation. This event is interrupting the lives of over 7 million residents. Emergency federal funds have been granted to Florida to help try and direct resources to coming up with a solution to this infestation. For the time being, all air travel to South Florida has been suspended. With the upcoming 4th of July weekend, it is too risky to have so many people around at this time. Air travel out of South Florida has also been suspended, as many major colonies of bees have set up at airports across South Florida, even getting into the engines of some planes. While it is not a travel ban, we highly urge the American people to avoid traveling to South Florida until the Africanized honeybee situation has been resolved. Nearly 3 dozen people have lost their lives so far, and the number could easily get higher if we are not careful. Thank you for your understanding. It has been greatly appreciated.
Your current time is 8:31 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Current advisories and hazards, air quality alert. An air quality alert has been issued for much of southern Florida, including the counties of Miami-Dade, Broward, Monroe, Collier, Hendry, Lee, and Palm Beach. High pollen counts have been observed across the affected area, as a combination of high wind gusts, unseasonably dry air, and high daytime temperatures have allowed for perfect conditions for plants to produce and spread pollen. While this does not pose a threat to most people, individuals with severe allergies may struggle outdoors over This is a high wind warning. The National Weather Service in Miami has issued a high wind warning, active from 12 p.m. this afternoon, and is active until July 6, 2023, at 12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Throughout the day today, a high-pressure system is expected to intensify over the Florida Peninsula, leading to high sustained winds across the state, with hurricane-force gusts possible in some locations. Counties impacted include, but are not limited to, Miami-Dade, Broward, Monroe, Collier, Henry, Palm Beach, Lee, Charlotte, Glades, and Martin. Residents are urged to secure any loose furniture outside, and to be wary of falling trees or down power lines in the coming days. Power outages are fairly likely along the western coast of Florida. Daytime sustained winds will be in excess of 40 miles per hour for much of the viewing area, with higher wind gusts possible. At night, the wind speed should settle down to between 15 to 30 miles per hour. If you observe any wind damage from the storm, please contact the National Weather Service or your local law enforcement agency when you can do so safely. Repeating, a high wind warning has been issued for the counties of Miami-Dade, Broward, Monroe, Collier, Henry, Palm Beach, Lee, Charlotte, Glades, and Martin, active from 12 p.m. this afternoon to 12 a.m. on July 6, 2023.
Following message is being transmitted at the request of the Florida state government. A civil danger warning has been issued for all of southern Florida, active immediately and until further notice. Throughout the overnight hours and into this morning, multiple large swarms of Africanized honeybees have been reported in many of Florida's southern counties. This includes, but is not limited to Miami-Dade, Broward, Monroe, Collier, Henry, Palm Beach, Lee, Charlotte, Glades, and Martin. Many major cities have reported swarms in excess of 1,500 bees, including Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers, Miami, West Palm Beach, Key West, and more. This is a particularly dangerous and life-threatening situation. All residents within the aforementioned counties are being urged to shelter in place immediately. To shelter in place, block all entrances and exits to your home or shelter. This includes all windows and doors. If you have tape on hand, it is strongly recommended that you tape up the airways in your doors and windows. There have been numerous reports of particularly aggressive swarms getting into people's homes through forcing themselves under the front door. If this happens to you, death is very likely to occur. If you have any insect repellent or insect killer on hand, it is advised that you keep that on your person at all times. Remain in your shelters until an all-clear message is given. Repeating, a civil danger warning has been issued for all of southern Florida, active immediately and until further notice. This message will repeat every hour until an all-clear message is given, or until new information is available.
Hello everyone, my name is James Bold. Happy 4th of July. If you don't recognize me, usually my station is up in Jacksonville, but today a sister station let us use their studio space to cover the situation in South Florida. And oh boy, what a situation it has been. If you haven't heard, southern Florida is experiencing an infestation of Africanized honeybees of truly biblical proportions. Scientists have estimated that overall, there could be anywhere from 100,000 to 250,000 of these killer bees across the area right now. Scary, huh? So what does the state plan to do about it? Well, they have slowly but surely been making progress against major colonies, but that doesn't mean it's been fast progress. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection estimates that the situation is only around 15% contained, though there may be some relief coming soon. Right now, people around Florida are praying for that unstable summer atmosphere that Florida is infamous for. Ideally, with a heavy round of rain, a lot of the bees would be driven away or killed. The problem is right now there is a high-pressure system over Florida, causing it to be incredibly dry. but looking at the models, it seems as if a cold front is forecast to come through later this week. Honestly, it cannot get here soon enough. Wait, do you hear that? Oh God, the bees are here. Quick Andrew, stuff some wet towels under the doors. I'll go set up a safe room, we'll be fine. I'm sorry folks, but it looks like we're gonna have to go for now. Good luck to everyone else in South Florida, stay safe.
Your current time is 8:31 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Current advisories and hazards, air quality alert. An air quality alert has been issued for much of southern Florida, including the counties of Miami-Dade, Broward, Monroe, Collier, Henry, Lee, and Palm Beach. High pollen counts have been observed across the affected area, as a combination of high wind gusts, unseasonably dry air, and high daytime temperatures have allowed for perfect conditions for plants to produce and spread pollen. While this does not pose a threat to most people, individuals with severe allergies may struggle outdoors over the
This is a severe thunderstorm watch. Severe thunderstorm watch 89 has been issued for the southern Florida peninsula, active from 6 p.m. tonight to 8:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow morning. A powerful cold front is expected to move across Florida tonight, and will likely produce scattered severe thunderstorms throughout the day today into the overnight hours. Severe thunderstorm watch includes, but is not limited to the counties of Monroe, Miami-Dade, Broward, Collier, Henry, Lee, Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, Glades, Charlotte, Sarasota, DeSoto, Highland, and Okeechobee. All residents within the watch area should remain vigilant for rapidly changing weather conditions. Remember, a severe thunderstorm watch means there is no active emergency at the moment, but conditions are right for the development of severe weather. If your area has a severe thunderstorm or tornado warning issued for it, take shelter immediately. Nighttime thunderstorms can be especially dangerous, as they can make potential tornadoes even more difficult to see. The main impacts from this event include, but are not limited to, wind gusts in excess of 70 miles per hour, hail in excess of 1 inch, torrential rainfall, and frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. Repeating, severe thunderstorm watch 89 has been issued for the southern Florida peninsula, active from 6 p.m. tonight to 8:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow morning. The following is an emergency update, which is being transmitted on the behalf of the state government of Florida. After nearly 2 weeks since the start of an infestation of Africanized honeybees, local officials have confidently declared that the emergency for southern Florida has been allowed to expire. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection has stated that the situation is 90% under control, and that most of the remaining bees are in extremely rural areas. A heavy overnight rainstorm did a number on the bees. Between upwards of 4 inches of rain falling in some areas and wind gusts topping 80 miles per hour, there wasn't much chance for the bees to survive. Unfortunately, it is believed that around 534 people have died from injuries sustained by the Africanized honeybees, with around an estimated 3,500 injured, and another 40 people still in critical condition. This has truly been an unprecedented, once-in-a-lifetime event. If you are cleaning up from storm damage on your property, be very careful. Loose bee nests could still be within debris, especially if you live in more rural areas. If you spot any more large swarms of Africanized bee nests or a colony of them, please contact your local law enforcement agency and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection immediately. For more information on recovery efforts and more, stay tuned to your local news media station.
Hello everyone, my name is James Bold, lead news anchor and meteorologist for First Coast Weather and News. Last time I got to do a show, it was on the 4th of July, and man, I missed doing this. For those of you who don't know, me and my crew were down in Boca Raton covering a massive infestation of Africanized honeybees, and our studio actually got attacked. Thankfully, it was only by one swarm, and only 1 or 2 bees actually got inside. But I'll tell you what, we did not leave that studio for at least 2 days after that. We were not taking any chances. With the situation mostly under control, except for in some extremely rural areas, it seems like this 2-week-long disaster is over. But not without taking the lives of hundreds of Floridians, and altering thousands of lives forever. It's estimated that almost 8 million people were directly impacted by this event. Can you imagine that? 8 million people all under the threat of death by bee sting at the same time. It truly is a crazy world we live in these days. On top of that, there was pretty significant damage from the cold front that drove the bees away, especially in rural areas. Plenty of downed trees and debris, thus why the situation hasn't been fully resolved in rural areas. But still, I have to ask. People seem to sweep the fact that the government said that this species of Africanized honeybee was genetically modified. But then that begs the question, by who? The government, some fringe scientist, a foreign entity looking to cause trouble? Who's to say? All I know is, it's good to be back home. With that out of the way, onto our first story of the morning. What law enforcement are doing in Collier County to help assist residents clean up storm damage.